Hey kiddos, today we are taking a look at angles and triangles number 3. And we are going to start off with what is called the triangle sum theorem. So sum means addition. So when we do the triangle angle sum theorem, what we're doing is we are looking at the interior angles of the triangle. So the sum or the addition of all of the triangles, all of the angles in the triangles have to add up to 180 degrees. Every triangle angles add up to 180 degrees. So this angle measure in here for A plus this measure in here for B plus this measure in here for C is going to add up to 180 degrees. That's just fact. All right, the second theorem that we're going to look at today is called the exterior angle theorem. And the exterior angle is one that is on the outside of the triangle. So angle number 1 is an exterior angle. And this is how we do it. An exterior angle, so angle number 1, is always equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So we want something that is not next to or is not attached to angle 1. So I don't care about this angle per se. I know that my exterior angle is going to add up to my two non-adjacent interior angles. So that means that the measure of angle 2 and the measure of angle 3, we are going to add those two angles together. So if I add up angle 2 plus angle 3, that is going to be the same amount of degrees that this exterior angle here is, angle number 1. Another way to get an exterior angle is if you know what this angle is. So if you know what this interior angle is, or you can use a linear pair. That's one of our vocab words that you need to know, because these two angles lie on a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So you can use a linear pair and get angle 1 that way. Sometimes we don't have enough information to know what this is, so it's easier if you just add up those two angles, and then that gives you the exterior angle. All right, so let's go ahead and work through some problems. I will remind you again that you should be stopping the video, working out ahead of me, and then playing it to check yourself. All right, find the missing angles. So on number 1, I know that all 3 of these angles has to add up to 180 degrees. So I can write my equation 24 plus 37 plus angle 1 has to equal 180 degrees. Same side smush, 24 plus 37 is 61 plus angle 1 equals 180 degrees. I'm trying to get angle 1 by itself, so that means that we have to subtract 61 on both sides. So my final answer, angle 1 is equal to 180 minus 61. It's 119 degrees. Number 2 has an exterior angle. So on this one, I have to use my exterior angle theorem. That says that the exterior angle, angle 1, is equal to the addition of the two non-adjacent angles. So all I have to do is add up 76 plus 52, and I get 128 degrees. All right, number 3, I've got an exterior angle. So I know that that exterior angle, 104, is equal to the addition of my two non-adjacent angles. So that means angle 1 plus 79 is going to total my 104 degrees. So then I can subtract 79 on both sides. 104 minus 79 is 25 degrees. Or you could have used a linear pair. I'm going to put LP. You could have used a linear pair. 180, subtract off the 104, and that would give you that measure. And now this one plus this one plus this one would have to equal 180 degrees. So if you use a linear pair, usually you have to do like 2 or 3 more steps than if you use the exterior angle theorem. The exterior angle theorem is kind of the shorter way to do that. All right, number 4. Do you see 3 triangles? There's one triangle, there's another triangle, and then this whole big triangle. So what we need to do is we need to start with a triangle that gives us enough information to get one thing. And then we can use that information to find out all the rest. So this is what I'm talking about. For example, if I just tried to start with this triangle, do you see how I have 2 unknowns? That means that I can't figure anything out here. There's too many things, there's too many bits of information that are missing. I can't start with this triangle. But what if I start with this triangle? Well, I know that that one's 66 and that one's 84. Can I find the one missing angle? Yep. So off to the side here, a triangle's 180. If I subtract away the 66, and I subtract away the 84, that's going to leave me with 30 degrees left over to be angle 1. So angle 1, I'm going to write it right here, is 30 degrees, and I can write in an answer of 30 degrees. Okay, let's see, what else am I seeing? Ooh, right here, this is a linear pair. Those two should add up to 180 degrees. So that means that I can do 180, subtract off the 84, and that's going to leave me with 96 degrees. So angle 3 is 96 degrees. Notice how I'm not going in order, and oftentimes you won't be able to go in order. You just have to look at the diagram and see what you can figure out. And that will lead you to other things. So check this out. If I go back to where I tried to start, I have one unknown, and now I know these 2 guys. So because I got this information already, now I can figure out what number 2 is. So because this is a triangle, that's 180 degrees. So 180, get rid of the 96, get rid of the 43, and that leaves 41 degrees left over for angle 2. 41 degrees. And now remember, you can check yourself at any time. You should be able to add up in your triangle and get 180. So I thought that one was 41, and I thought that one was 96, and that one is, 43. So that should equal 180. That's a great way to check yourself on these problems. On this triangle, I had 84 and 66, and we thought it was 30, and that should be 180. Okay, so you can always check your triangles because they should always add up to 180 degrees. All right, let's take a look at number 5. I'm seeing 3 triangles again. I'm seeing this little sliver of a triangle. I'm seeing this little right triangle, and then we have the big right triangle. What do I know about that right angle? Well, I know that it is 90 degrees. All right, so how does that help me? Well, if I start with this right triangle, I know that this one's 90. I know that this one's 43. So we can figure out number 1. How do I do it? A triangle's 180. We're subtracting off the 90, subtracting off the 43. So that means that number 1 is going to be left over with 47 degrees. Okay, now what do you see? Well, if I look at this triangle, I have 2 unknowns, so that's not helpful. But look at here. What's that called? That's a linear pair, and a linear pair is 180 degrees. So now I can do 180, subtract off the 43, and that means that angle 2 is going to have 137 degrees in it. Angle 2 is 137 degrees. Well, now if I go back to this little skinny triangle, I know that that one's 12. I know that that one's 37. So now we can find number 3. So let me get number 3. So I have 180. I'm going to get rid of that 137 and then this little bitty 12. And then that leaves me with 31 degrees. Guys, I just have my calculator here over to the side and I'm just punching in numbers. You can use the calculator on your cell phone if you want. This is just easy subtraction to do. Some of it you'll be able to do in your head, but just having a calculator will help speed you up and give you accuracy. Okay, let's take a look at number 6. So number 6, I see a triangle on the top and I see a triangle on the bottom. So the triangle on the bottom has 2 unknowns, so I cannot start there. But the triangle on the top, we can find out what angle 1 is. How do I do it? A triangle is 180, subtract away the 68, subtract away the 61, and you are left with 51 degrees to be angle 1. That's a 51 degree angle. Okay, but now I'm stuck. I still have 2 unknowns down here. So think back to your vocabulary. This is something. What happens, or what's it called when you have 2 angles that are across from each other in an X? What are those called? If you said vertical angles, you are correct. What do we know about vertical angles? We know that they are equal to each other, or they are congruent. So that means that angle 2 is also a 61 degree angle. And now I know that one's 61. I know that that's 90. So now we can figure out number 3. So 180, subtract away the 61, subtract away the 90, and we are left with 29 degrees. So that means that angle 3 is 29 degrees. And remember, you can check it. 29 plus 61 plus 90, that better be 180 degrees. Yep. All right, number 7. So we've got a word here, bisects. BC bisects. This word, bisect, it just means cuts in half. That means that you have to have 2 equal angles. All right, so it says that BC cuts angle ACD in half. Let me highlight for you angle ACD. Ooh, look at that. It is a right angle. So if this line is cutting the right angle in half, bisecting it, that means 90 divided by 2, cut it in half, right? 90 divided by 2, that means that both of these guys have to be 45 degree angles. 45 degrees, 45 degrees. All right, so that bisect just means cut it in half, divide it by 2. All right, so now let me take a look at this triangle. I know 48, I know 45, so now we can find angle number 1. How do I do it? Triangle's 180, subtract away the 48, subtract away the 45, and that leaves us with 87 degrees. Angle 1 has to be 87 degrees. And then if I look at this triangle, I know that that's 45 and I know that that's 83. So now we can find number 4. Number 4, 180, subtract 45, subtract the 83, and we have 52 degrees left over. So angle 4 must be 52 degrees. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just because I did mine in a particular order doesn't mean that you found your answers in the same order. Okay, sometimes we see things differently, and that's okay. It's okay if you do things in a different order. Sometimes there's only one way to do it, and we will end up getting answers in the same order. Okay. So number 8, okay, so I see a little triangle there. I see a bigger triangle there. This line right here, that is showing you that you have all 3 of these angles that are going to be on a straight line. All right, so where in the world can we start with this? Well, if I start with this triangle, I know 54 and I know 90, which means that I can find angle 3. So I'm going to do that. 180, subtract the 90, subtract the 54, and I'm left with 36 degrees. So angle 3 has to be 36. All right, what about this triangle? That's 41, that's 75, which means that I can find angle 1. So angle 1 is going to be 180, it's a triangle. Subtract the 75, subtract the 41, and then that gives us 64 degrees. So angle 1 is 64 degrees. Now I need to find angle 2. And angle 2 is this space that is located in between these 2 triangles. So those 3 angles, 1, 2, and 3, they line up on a straight line. What do I know about a straight line? I know that it is 180 degrees. So if I know this one is 64 and I know this one is 90, then we can figure out what number 2 is. So 2 is going to be 180. It's a straight line. Get rid of the 64, get rid of the 90, and we are left with 26 degrees. That little angle right there for number 2 is going to be 26 degrees. All right, number 9. What does that symbol mean? It means that they are parallel. L and M are parallel. So I'm going to mark them as parallel. Remember how we do that? We do a little triangle like that and like that. That shows that they are parallel to one another. Now, parallel lines are going to help us because our parallel lines are cut by a transversal. All right, so looking at our diagram, I can start in a couple different places. I can't start here because of 2 unknowns. This triangle, 4 and 2 are unknown, so I can't start there, but I am seeing that this is a linear pair, so I can figure out number 3. So 180 minus 73 means that we're going to have a 107 degree angle. So angle 3 is 107 degrees. Okie dokie. Well, where can I go from here? Well, how about these parallel lines? So I'm seeing these parallel lines, and if I use this as my transversal, what do I know about 49 and 4? What kind of angles are 49 and 4? They are alternate. They're in between the parallel lines, so alternate interior angles. And I know that alternate interior angles are congruent. Remember, you got to know your vocabulary. So that means that angle 4 is going to be a 49-degree angle as well. Ooh, now that I know number 4, can't we figure out number 5 because it's a straight line? Sure can. So number 5 is going to be 180 because it's a straight line. Get rid of the 49, and that's going to leave us with 131 degrees. 131 degrees. All right, well now I need 1 and 2. Okay, so if I go to my triangle, I know this one's 73, I know this one's 49, so now I can figure out number 2. So number 2, I'm going to go right up here. So a triangle is 180, subtract the 73, subtract the 49, and we get 58 degrees for angle 2. And then, what do I know about angles 1, 2, and 49? They lie on a straight line. All 3 of those angles need to add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to do that up here, 180. I'm going to subtract away angle 2, and then I'm going to subtract away the 49, and that is going to be 73. So angle 1 has to be 73 degrees. Another way I could have done that is by using my parallel lines and this transversal. 1 and 73 are alternate interior angles, and those are equal to each other. So if that's 73, that also needs to be 73. Okay, so sometimes there's multiple ways that you can work through these problems, and you and I might see things in a different order, in a different way. So long as you are following the rules of mathematics, it's all going to be okay. All right, number 10. Do you see that triangle? And that little bitty triangle? And then that triangle? And then, holy smokes, it's inside of one big rectangle. So there's a lot of shapes that I can be using right now. All right, so what do I see? Well, how about here in this corner? I know that that's a 90-degree angle, and I know that that much is 52. Can we figure out what number 6 is? If I know that it's supposed to be 90 degrees, can't I just say 90 degrees, subtract away the 52? Means that I have 38 degrees left over for number 6. All right, where can I go now? Well, I've got this triangle like that, where this is 38 and this is 86, so we should be able to find number 5. So triangle is 180, subtract the 86, subtract the 38, and we get 56. So that's a 56-degree angle. Look at this. I know that 1 and 5 are supposed to be 90 degrees. Now that I know that this is 56 degrees, can't I figure out number 1? That's a 90-degree angle. I'm getting rid of the 56, which is going to give me 34. Yep, 34 degrees for number 1. Can I find number 2 yet? I know number 1, I don't know number 4, and I don't know number 2, so I can't use that. Okay, how about number 3? Well, if I know that this one is 52 and this one is 90, That means that we can figure out what number 3 is. So that's going to be 180, get rid of the 90, get rid of the 52, and that's going to give us 38. So 38 degrees for number 3. Okay, so 3 is 38, and 3 and 2 are supposed to be a right angle. So that means that I can get in here now and do 90 degrees minus that 38, and that's going to leave us with 52 degrees left over. So that means that angle 2 is 52 degrees. Number 4, oh, look at this. That's a straight line. That's a linear pair, right? So that means that I can do 180 straight line minus 86, and that is going to be a 94 degree angle for number 4. So one answer leads you to the next, which leads you to the next, which leads you to the next. All right, number 11. Ooh, I see a lot of stuff going on number 11. Okay, first of all, do you see these little arrows? What does that mean? It means that those are parallel lines. So that might be able to help us a little bit. Okay, so I also see an X in the middle of this diagram, which is going to give me some vertical angles. So what do I know? I know that 71 and angle 2 are equal to each other. So that's going to be 71 degrees on angle 2. I also know that 3 and 71, or 5 and 71, those are a linear pair, which means that I can do 180 minus 71. And that gives me 109 degrees right here. And those are vertical angles, which means that 5 is also 109 degrees. All right, what else? All right, I know 42, I know 109. Can we find out what number 6 is? So that's gonna be 180. Right, I'm subtracting the 109 and I'm subtracting the 42. So that's going to be, let's see, 29 degrees. Okay, let's see, where else can I go? I know that that's 47, and I know that number 2 is 71, which means I can find out what angle 1 is. That's going to be 180 minus 47 minus 71. And I get 62 degrees. All right, what else? Look at this triangle. I know 36. I know number 3 is 109. That means that I can find number 4. So 180, what did I just say? Minus 109 minus the 36. So number 4 is going to be 35 degree angle. All right, so we're left with 7 and 8. So 7 and 8 are in the same triangle, which means I have 2 unknowns. So I can't use this triangle to figure it out. I also don't know how much this total angle should be, so I can't figure out 8. And I don't know how much that total angle should be, so I can't figure out number 7. So that means I'm going to have to fall back to these parallel lines. So these parallel lines are giving me a transversal like that, making 47 and number 7 alternate interior angles. They are equal to each other. So if 47 degrees goes with angle 7, then 7 is also 47 degrees. And then we can do the same thing with number 8. So my parallel lines, this is my transversal. Number 8 and number 1 are alternate interior angles. So that means that they have to be equal to each other. So 8 and 1 are the same. So if 1 was 62, that means that 8 is also 62. Students probably struggle the most with parallel lines. Typically, if they give you parallel lines, you are going to be using them. All right, on these last 4, we need to solve for x and then find each angle measure. So you can see here, we're going to figure out what x is first, and then we're going to do some plugging in to figure out what the angles are. All right, so check it out. I've got a triangle. What do I know about the angles interior angles? What do I know about them for a triangle? I know that they have to add up to 180 degrees. So 9x plus 3 plus 5x minus 2 plus 11x minus 21, that has to equal 180 degrees. I've just added up my 3 angles equal to 180. We have a lot of smushing to do. 9x and 5x and 11 more x is 25x. Plus 3 minus 2 minus 21, that is a negative 20. All right, so now we solve it. So I'm adding 20 on both sides. 180 plus 20 is 200. And now I'm dividing both sides by 25. 200 divided by 25 is 8. So there is one of my answers. And now I need to find my angle measure. So I'm going to take that 8 and I'm going to go back and I'm going to plug it in. So this one's going to be, try again, 11 times 8 minus 21. So that's going to be 88 minus 21. That's a 67 degree angle. This is going to be 5 times 8 minus 2. So that's going to be 40 minus 2 is a 38 degree angle. And then this one's going to be 9 times 8 plus 3, which is a 75 degree angle. And to check yourself, remember, you can add up all 3, so 38 plus 75 plus 67, and it should equal 180 degrees. That is a great way to double check your math without having to do a bunch of algebra. Just make sure that your triangle adds up to 180 degrees. All right, number 13, you should be pausing this and you should be doing this one. It's just like the one that we just did. Number 12, pause it and do it on your own. All right, adding up to 180. So 4x minus 22 plus 10x minus 4 plus x plus 11 equals our triangle 180 degrees. Smush, 4x plus 10x plus 1x is 15x. Negative 22 minus 4 plus 11 is a negative 15, equal to 180. All right, now I'm adding 15 on both sides. So 180 plus 15 is 195. And then dividing by 15 on both sides. So 195 divided by 15, and I get an x value of 13. Now that I know what x is, now I can come back and plug it in. So this one's going to be 13 plus 11. That means angle R is a 24 degree angle. And this one's going to be 10 times 13 minus 4. So that's 130 minus 4. That's a 126 degree angle. And then 4 times 13 minus 22. That's going to be a 30 degree angle. And if you add those three angles up, you are going to get 180 degrees. Number 14. Number 14, we are dealing with an exterior angle. Recall what the exterior angle theorem says. It says that the exterior angle is equal to the addition of your two non-adjacent angles. So angle A plus angle B in this case. All right, so let's plug that in. So my exterior angle is 18x minus 15, and then I have to add these two angles together. So that's going to be 13x minus 11 plus 4x plus 1. Smush. 13x plus 4x is 17x. A negative 11 plus 1 is a negative 10. I've got x's on both sides. I'm moving the smaller one. So subtracting 17x on both sides. And then adding 15 on both sides. Negative 10 plus 15 is a positive 5. Now that we know that x is 5, now we can come back and we can plug in. All right, so that's going to be 13 times 5 minus 11. 13 times 5 minus 11. I can't do that off the top of my head. 13 times 5 minus 11. Okay, that's a 54-degree angle. Now, it doesn't say angle A. It says a whole bunch of letters. Did you know that the vertex of the angle is always the middle letter? So if I need angle A, that means that angle A is going to be the middle letter, CAB, CAB. So that is a 54-degree angle. And then I can plug in here. So 4 times 5 plus 1, that is going to be 21 for angle B. So here's angle B. Angle B. So that is a 21-degree angle. And then I've got this one to do. So that's going to be 18 times 5 minus 15. 18 times 5 minus 15. That's a 75-degree angle at angle C. But oh, wait a minute, we've got two angle C's. Well, because we've got an angle on this side and we've got an angle on this side. So which one is this? This is D and B with C in the middle. So I need a B and a D, or a D and a B with C in the middle. So that is this one, DCB. That's going to be a 75-degree angle. And then how do I find this leftover one? This guy is just a straight line. So 180, get rid of the 75, and that leaves you with 105 degrees for ACB. ACB, ACB. All right, last one, pause it, do it on your own. It's just like the one we just did together. Exterior angle, 9x minus 8 has to be equal to the addition of these two angles, 7x minus 32 plus 5x minus 27. And now we're going to smush. 7x and 5x is 12x. Negative 32 minus 27 is a negative 59. X is on both sides. I'm moving the smaller one, so I'm subtracting 12. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a 19 for some reason. 9 is the smaller, so I'm going to be subtracting 9x on both sides. So negative 8 is equal to 3x minus 59. And then I'm adding 59 on both sides. So negative 8 plus 59 is a positive 51. And then I'm dividing by 3. 51 divided by 3 is 17. All right, now we plug in to find our angles. So I'm going to plug in 5 times 17 minus 27. This is angle J. So I look for J in the middle right here. That is going to be a 58-degree angle. And I'm going to go here. So 7 times 17 minus 32. That's angle K. So here's angle K. That's going to be an 87-degree angle. And now I can come right here. This is going to be 9 times 17 minus 8. So L in the middle, and it's in between K and M. That's this angle right here between K and M. So KLM, 9 times 17 minus 8, that's a 145-degree angle. And then how can I figure out what this angle is? Well, it's a straight line. So that means 180, and I'm subtracting off the 145 that we just found, and that's going to leave me with 35. So 35 degrees on that one. So keep your eyes open, be on the lookout for triangles adding up to 180, be on the lookout for exterior angles, and then don't forget about those vocabs that we've learned. Vertical angles, because they're congruent. Parallel lines gives you alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interior, or corresponding angles. And those are all equal to each other, or they're 180 degrees. So if you don't remember, go back to yesterday's lesson, look at those angles again, and really get them into your memory. Time for some practice now, and I will catch you on the flip side.